Our next speaker, this is going to be a very valuable session. It's going to allow you to broaden your mind and the way you think about your business, and also make us realize our collective responsibility for providing our clients added security and safety, basically reducing their risk. So with that, I'm going to introduce Tony Thomas, Vice President of Strategy from ConnectWise. Over to you, Tony.
All right, Acronis Summit. Well, I'd like to first start off by saying, on behalf of the 3,000 colleagues at ConnectWise around the globe, thank you to the Acronis team and you, the technology service providers of the industry, for letting us and allowing us to share the stage and this wonderful summit of ideas. Systems failure, denial of service. These are all persistent conditions in a certain type of economy. We know this economy to be the digital economy. In fact, this digital economy is the de facto economy. There is an antidote to this condition. It's called resilience. Carl Bickmore, CEO of SnapTech IT, he and his team engineered a service delivery grid that has a min, moderate, and max level of resilience for his entire supply chain. JNR Networks CEO James Riley and his team took a known standard and engineered a language around risk management, helping his government and non-government customers build a relationship with risk through trade-offs and payoffs of the type of resilience they want in their digital business. The Final Step UK. Raja Pagadala and his team engineered a plan that delivers peace of mind to his end clients. He literally built a system of trust around resilience. And the way that he built that system of trust around resilience is his end clients participate in testing that resilience. Not a sandbox, but real world testing of that resilience. My message here today at a summit, and what I love about summits, is it's an exchange of ideas, modern ideas. CyberFit Score, great modern idea, by the way. My goal in my presentation today to you is make the case for something called blast zone engineering, another modern idea that helps us manage the forces of chaos, that takes the MSP ecosystem, or as I like to call it, the community, and connects them together to generate opportunity and solve for the ultimate end game, continuity. Now, you know these guys. Cyber attacks, data breaches, security incidents. Long have these three driven something called fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Long have they influenced your decision making around your partnerships, around your stack. I'm here to tell you that these three are not the only three that make up the digital economy. There's 7 more. Now, am I here peddling fear, uncertainty, and doubt? No, I'm not. I'm actually here to remind you of something. Opportunity. What you see here is an engineering opportunity. You know what y'all are? You're engineers. You engineer your time. You engineer your teamwork. You engineer your family life. You engineer your independence, and you sure as heck engineer your success. You are an engineer, and this is an engineering opportunity. So as we dive deep into how might we embrace and adopt a mindset that is pure engineering at all levels, I hope to make the case for a new strategy. Let's start here. We talked about chaos. Now let's talk about the ecosystem. Let's talk about the community. Our community is on a journey. On that journey, there are stages, there are attributes, there are steps, and there are touch points across the entire supply chain. That journey consists of a stage called identify. That journey consists of a stage called protect. That journey consists of a stage called detect. That journey consists of a stage called respond. That journey consists of a stage called recover. As ConnectWise has spent 30 plus years facilitating community, what we have learned during the era of threat management, of business continuity, is that the community seeks out standards, best practices, not to follow them blindly, but rather to engineer them. What we find is that NIST is a very strong framework that is a hybrid, robust set of principles, of activities, of results, of objectives that most partners customize, they engineer. The thing about a network, Robert Metcalfe, the inventor of Ethernet, and one of the, who I would call a Nobel laureate speaker at IT Nation, helped us understand was Metcalfe's law, which roughly is the value of a network is directly proportional to the users producing and consuming in the same network. That's a community. It has wonderful network effects. Habits are being exchanged. A best practice doesn't tell you where the cliff is. Your peer tells you where the cliff is and to navigate around that. So you cannot have practices such as all of this stuff without a community. Full stop. So let's dive into this concept of blast zone engineering. This is a mindset. Mindsets help you align you and your teams. The B stands for boom. It's not a mic drop, it's a boom. A boom is bi-directional. It doesn't just happen to one side, it happens to the other side simultaneously when it detonates. And what that means is you have to react in real time simultaneously across the spectrum of your supply chain. I'll illustrate that for you. The L, levers. There isn't a such thing as one lever fits all. Doesn't exist. You have to choose the levers that fit your mode of business. We like to refer to our partners through their ambition and their relationship with growth and their journey. Some are empire builders, solving for rapid and hyper growth. Some are value builders, a certain percentage year over year. Some are balance builders, making sure that they're not sacrificing work and life, but still building equity in their business and their teams. And some are startups trying to survive their first 3 years. Each lever for each of those modes are different. There's not a one-size-fits-all. You need a community to help you understand what mode they're in and what lever or levers exist in their business. Availability, you guys all remember this. Windows, you know this, not even remember this. Windows, Mac, Linux. When something went wrong, you were always able to boot into what type of mode? Safe mode. It gave you the minimum available things to come up, stabilize, find the problem, and fully recover. So blast zone engineering is about making sure you understand what is most important. You cannot save everything after an initial detonation. Get it up and running, stabilize it, and then recover. Stress testing. I mentioned Raja Pagadala. and his ability to sell peace of mind to his end clients through a system of trust. That system of trust involves his end clients, his teams, his suppliers, to operate in a real-time ready state. That means when something happens at 3 a.m. in the morning, they're running a real-time drill. Stress test. That is an important activity, that is an important result, and is an important objective no matter what mode of business that you're in. And finally, time-bound. We know this, the most unrenewable resource known to man is time. You have to make a decision on the time it takes to recover data, on the time it takes for you to come fully back up. Time-bound. Blast zone engineering. Okay, let's look at that in the form of a blueprint. Identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. Remember that journey? These are verbs signaling action. You have to ask yourself two really important questions, and you know these questions, but it's worth reinforcing over and over again because these two questions are the only thing that counts when chaos detonates. How much can you afford to lose? You have to come to terms with that. How long can you afford to be down? You have to come to terms with that. You can't guess it. You got to test and measure. You got to use a scoring system. CyberFit, great scoring system. Let's talk a little bit more about the supply chain. This ecosystem, the community. If there is a partnership that is no less than transformative to you, abandon it. Because when chaos detonates, you have to call upon a partner, not a vendor. Partnerships over vendorships. Ask yourself, who are your partners and who are your vendors? Because when chaos detonates, who's going to run towards that fire with you? A partner. Make sure your partnerships are transformative. Show me the evidence. Stack alignment. This is a continuous thing. It's not a one and done. As Carl Bickmore taught me, he's created a service delivery grid of min, moderate, and max that consists of different services, programs, cyber insurance, products, platforms, and he helps his clients understand the payoffs and trade-offs associated with that. Your stack continuously realigns. If it hasn't realigned in over 2 years, you got probably a point of failure in there. And community. If you see my friend Wayne Selleck from CompTIA out there, talk to him about the CompTIA ISAL. That's a threat intelligence sharing community. Again, Metcalfe's law, the more people that are part of a community that contribute back to it, all of those people in the community derive value from that. You need a community. It's existential. You can't go it alone. You want to go fast? Go alone. You want to go far because you're on a journey? Go with your community. Plan and sell. Now we enter into the relationship that you have with your end client. The one thing that vendors or software providers or platform providers or program providers will never commoditize, because we will commoditize software, always commoditizing software until the next wave. We can't commoditize trust. You own that. It's something that cannot be commoditized. We can amplify that trust for you, but we cannot commoditize that. The way that you earn that trust is you plan with your end client and you sell them what fits. Then you test and measure. You don't test and measure in a sandbox, you test and measure in production. Netflix, you guys all know that, right? Netflix popularized something called chaos engineering in 2012. What they said was like, look, in order for us to maintain continuity under circumstances, we have to do a couple of things. One, we have to realize where the single points of failure are. Second, we have to make sure we never believe there's no single points of failure. So how do you do that? Testing in production. chaos engineering. Blast zone engineering pulls from some of those principles. It also pulls from NIST. It also pulls from MSP Plus. It also pulls from Trustmark. It helps you decipher how to find a single point of failure and remind you that you can never be 100% sure there is not a single point of failure. And you track and educate your end clients. That's blast zone engineering. Let me leave you with this. Align your stack. Make sure your partnerships are transformative. Join communities. In the end, those are the three things that are going to make you resilient. Here's the outcome. A mindset, business continuity. Remember, that's the end game. Streamlined and noise cancellation. There's a lot of noise out there. And a default state of disaster management SOPs. Listen, we don't want regulation. We want to self-regulate. We can do that as a community. We just got to step up into growth. If you want to learn more about that, I invite you in this room to learn how we're turning chaos into opportunity. My friends, my colleagues, Mike Goldberg, my friend, my colleague at Acronis, James Slaby, and our partner, our mutual partner, Esteban Delgado from Biz IT Support and Security will be talking about habits. We'll be talking about transformative partnerships. We'll be talking about outcomes, various things that we can do together as a community to turn chaos into opportunity. Enjoy the summit of ideas, and thank you.